Yeah. So one of my first few deals was a single family home that I bought as a vacation rental. And my rookie mistakes with that deal were I did not buy something that would at least break even as a long-term rental. In retrospect, I wish I did. And I also bought in a market that's highly seasonal, which I don't particularly love for vacation rentals. But that property was just a little too far from the winter activities. It did amazing in the summer, but it wasn't enough to support it through the winter. So that property I held on to for a year and then I actually sold it creatively. So I sold it sub to hybrid seller financing. And that turned what would have been a break even deal into a $75,000 profit deal, holding it for 1 year. So, yeah.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kessel. And today I'm joined by someone that I'm looking forward to chatting with, Jessie Dillon, who's been making serious moves as a buy and hold investor since 2022. So excited to have you on the show today, Jessie.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you're structuring your operations and how you scaled to 50 units in under 4 years. So let's dive in. First off, for those not familiar with you and your world yet, can you give the short version of what your main focus is?
Yeah, so I focus mostly on value add multifamily. I'm a long distance investor and I actually primarily now buy in partnerships. So I'm huge on partnering. I am pivoting a little bit right now, but everything I have focused on until now is value add multifamily.
Awesome. And what markets are you operating in?
I live in Central Mass and I do own a couple properties out here, but I mostly invest in Chicago.
So what got you into this?
So in 2021, I was feeling a little burnt out in my day job, which is owning and operating a salon. So I work behind the chair with clients. Um, and I was just putting in a lot of hours. And I think having to step back during COVID when we closed for 3 months really made me realize how much I was working. So first I went down the fire path through really aggressively investing in index funds. And I just knew that was still going to take too long. And I wanted to be work optional faster. And just one podcast led to the next, and I started hearing about real estate investing on all of these financial independence podcasts. And this was summer 2021. So that fall, I just dove into all the books and the podcasts and the coaching calls and boot camps, and everything started to kind of sound the same around Thanksgiving. And that weekend is when I started making offers and got under contract on my first property that I then closed January of 22. So it was really born out of burnout and wanting a path to wealth building that was faster than index fund investing.
Awesome. I love that story. That's so cool that you were able to get started and really pivot into a way that can give you success. So I know that you mentioned that you scaled from 0 to 50 units in under 4 years. Can you expand and share how you were able to do that and what that journey looked like for you?
Yeah, so my first 3 deals were smaller properties, but in an expensive market. So this was 2022, and I used my own money to get into those. I had put down 10%, 10%, and 8%, and, just using, like, different loan products. Even so, I was tapped out after that. So I was had the time and knowledge to keep buying faster than I had the time to build up more down payments, buying in an expensive area. And I had really done so much homework on real estate investing. So I felt pretty confident that after doing those first 3 deals, I was confident enough that I could use someone else's money to keep buying. And
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
that's when I kind of opened my mind to partnerships. I was resistant to them up until then, but I went to a conference and it really opened my mind to partnerships. And I realized I just needed to find the right one, the right person who really complemented me. And we each brought what the other person was lacking. And it just felt right. So I set out to find the right partner. I found my first one. And the following summer of 2023, we closed on a 13 unit together. And then, I just kept the ball rolling. I was looking for my next ideal capital partner. I was planting a lot of seeds, and nothing actually worked out for like a year and a half. So I was putting in the work, I was doing the reps, but I didn't buy anything in 2024. And then towards the end of 2024, though, things started to come together, like the seeds that I had been planting to find these aligned partnerships started to come to fruition. And this year, in February or March, I closed on an 8 unit with a partner. In June, I closed on a 13 unit with a partner. And in July, I closed on a 12 unit with a partner. So this year alone, I went from 17 to 50 units. My net ownership percentage of all of these 50 units is just a little over half. But that once all of these properties really start functioning how they should, since their value add it'll take a couple years, that is enough to make me work optional.
Amazing. I love that. That's such a cool way that you were able to scale so quickly. When
Thank you.
it comes to your partnerships, like how did you find the right partner? Was it through networking or connections that you already had?
I found each partner in a different way. So my first partner I actually created a list of 50 people who I thought would maybe know someone who fit my ideal partner description, which I had to come up with first. And I just said, every day for 10 days, I'm going to text 5 of these people. So I reached out and just said something like, I know we're connected online. I hope you're doing well. If you have been following what I'm doing online, this is what I'm looking to do next. I'm looking for someone who XYZ. If this makes you think of anyone in your network, would you just share my information with them and they can reach out if they're interested? And someone that I had texted was actually sitting at dinner with her friend who kind of fit my ideal partner description. So she set us up, and that's how I met my first partner. My second partner, we met because she attended a workshop that I hosted through a local chamber of commerce on how to buy your first rental property. My third partner, we met because we're in the same online community for female investors, and she also heard me on the podcast of the creators of that community. And my last partner I met because I actually used to work for his colleague's son. So if you can follow that one. And that just kind of shows the importance of telling everybody that you know what you're doing, what you're looking to do, and just keeping the conversations going.
Amazing. That's so cool. I love that it worked out in such a flow for you that all those connections were able to find you.
Mhm.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So, what are some of the main keys that have allowed your business to run smoothly and successfully?
Think the biggest thing is just being super organized. So, like, not only do I run my real estate business, but I also run my salon business still and work in it part time. So, between those two, there's really not a lot of space for error. So I use Monday.com as a task tracking software. I also have two virtual assistants. One is more like a high level executive assistant. So between the two of them, I can offload a lot of just the repetitive tasks or things that really don't require my voice or my face. I think generally anything that you can record a Loom video on, telling someone else how to do it, should be off of your plate as a business owner. I think you should really be doing the tasks that are, bigger picture, higher level, that are really going to ultimately make you more money.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to offload those heavy tasks and create more space to do what you are passionate and good at for your business. I think that team effort is so important. So, what are some of the things that you are focusing on solving or scaling to next in your business?
Well, I honestly have done what I set out to do with value add multifamily. Like my goal from the beginning was 50 units, with most of them being bought in these partnerships. So it was kind of time to pivot this past summer. And one of my business partners and I, we were looking into doing self storage. We were offering on storage, and it just really didn't feel aligned. I think part of that was because it's really hard to find a great deal unless you're doing a lot of off-market lead generation, which I don't do. I think there's just so much competition in the storage space, and there's a lot of people who are happy to get a break-even deal, and we are not. So we're considering pivoting again into short-term rentals, which I actually have experience operating short-term rentals. So that is one big opportunity that lies ahead. Another is I'm actually working on doing my first flip, which I think it's so funny, like that I have not done one so far, but I've just been really laser focused on buying multifamily for the long term. And now it's time to kind of reel it back in and balance that out with more short term projects. And I also plan on getting my real estate license this year because that will help me with the plans that I have for next year.
Amazing. I love that you're laser focused on what's next for you. What is the real estate license going to support you with?
So next summer, I would like to get into a new house hack. So I'm a big advocate of house hacking. I think everyone should be house hacking. I would like to do another one next summer. And if I have my real estate license and I'm my own buyer's agent, I can offset my down payment. So, but also my daughter turns 18, so she would like to do a house hack. So same thing, if I'm the buyer's agent, that will offset our family's down payment. So I'm not sure that I see myself doing much beyond that with my real estate license, but you never know. I think after I put the time and effort into getting it, I might create some kind of system around just making referrals and getting some residual cash from that.
Amazing. That's such a cool way to support yourself and, yeah, get creative with ways that you can grow your investments and save some money.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
So let me ask you this. Every business owner has those moments where things get real, maybe a deal that goes sideways, or you have to pivot fast. Would you mind sharing one of those moments that you've experienced and how you overcame it?
Yeah. So one of my first few deals was a single family home that I bought as a vacation rental. And my rookie mistakes with that deal were I did not buy something that would at least break even as a long-term rental. In retrospect, I wish I did. And I also bought in a market that's highly seasonal, which I don't particularly love for vacation rentals. But that property was just a little too far from the winter activities. It did amazing in the summer, but it wasn't enough to support it through the winter. So that property I held on to for a year and then I actually sold it creatively. So I sold it sub to hybrid seller financing. And that turned what would have been a break even deal into a $75,000 profit deal, holding it for 1 year. So yeah, I feel good about that. I mean, I learned great lessons about short-term rentals and I took away some great experience and I did ultimately turn that profit, which is great, but if I hadn't known about creative financing, I would have just sold it on market and it would have been a break-even experience.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I feel like these types of examples are what allow people to really get their mind into that long term vision and keep moving forward.
Mhm.
So, when it comes to growing your business, whether that's through networking or relationship building, what are some things that have made the biggest difference for you?
I think what's made the biggest difference for me is probably using social media to make sure everyone knows what I am doing and what I'm working on. And that's not really limited to, Instagram and Facebook. It's also getting on podcasts like this and sharing my experience and being a part of online communities for real estate investors, providing value in there, connecting with people through those. I mentor in an online program called the Wire Community Women Invest in Real Estate. I co host the beginner cohort. So a lot of partnership and private lending opportunities have come from there. So I think like, if you're someone who's really shy about putting yourself out there in person and going to those in-person networking events, you can be just as successful networking online and just sharing at least a couple times a week about what's going on in your real estate journey, even if you don't think there's that much going on yet.
Yeah, absolutely. That relationship building skill is so important in this space, no matter what if it's online or in person. If someone is newer to real estate investing and they're wanting to get started but aren't sure what those first steps to that path looks like, what are some tips for people looking to get started on their journey?
I think my number one tip is always to only take advice from people who are doing what you want to be doing. Even if you're not exactly sure what area of the real estate space you want to be in, I think it's still, you can still identify people who are in the space, who are at meetups or who you're seeing in those groups online or who you're finding on Instagram. You can still identify people who, give you something to be envious of. And you can reach out to those people and try and connect with them and try to offer value or pay for a consulting call with them. I would also say to at least do something every day that is helping you learn more about real estate. So maybe you're meeting for coffee with someone. Maybe you're going to a meetup. Maybe you're listening to a podcast or listening to an audiobook. I loved all of the Bigger Pockets books, like on the BP bookstore online. So many of them have been pivotal for me. So I think do something every single day. Check the box every day. If this is something you're serious about. And yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to people and just ask for advice or input.
Absolutely. I think that mentorship, support, educational platforms are so important for beginners to get their feet wet.
And there's no shortage of
Awesome.
free information online, but I do think that when you invest in education, like if you join a group or a community or a program online that is paid, or you pay to go to a conference or you pay for coaching calls, I think you are more likely to use that information, even though you could have learned the same thing for free online. I know not everyone has the resources to be paying for stuff like that, but if you do and you can push yourself to invest in it, I do think you're more likely to take action.
Totally. Yeah, putting some skin in the game definitely gets you more laser focused on that goal.
Hmm.
Awesome. So before we wrap up here, if someone wants to reach out, connect, collaborate with you, where can people find you and connect with you?
I am mostly on Instagram, so I'm Jessie Dillon with an underscore at the end.
Perfect. Well, listen, I appreciate time, your story, and your perspective. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And for the listeners tuning in, if you've got value from this, make sure you've subscribed. We've got more conversations with operators just like Jessie who are building real businesses. We'll see you on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.